Hey, my little sisters and brothers, I call you my junior friends. Those who are pursuing their studies in the standards of 8, 9 and 10. Already we had a session on this topic, simultaneous equation, and how to find out the solutions of it in our earlier class. Now we'll start our session number 2. Okay? You can recall that in our session number 1, we had studied how to solve the simultaneous equations by the methods of comparison and by the methods of the substitution. Today, we are going to learn how these simultaneous equations can be solved by the process of elimination of coefficients. Elimination of coefficients. Okay? Now already you have the knowledge that what do we mean by the coefficient. You know, if the variable or the literal is x, then the real number, that which is prefixed with this literal, say a or say 1, this is called to be the coefficient. Now the coefficient can be plus or a minus. Okay? If a1 is positive, a1 is positive. You know, positive we mention this way, a1 is greater than 0. You have already the knowledge. This is from the fundamentals of the number line. a1 is greater than 0 means a1 is positive. So here the a1, the coefficient of the variable is a1, that which is positive. Now had I given a minus sign with it, you know, then in that case the coefficient would have been minus a1. Okay, this is our, you know, meaning of the coefficient. Now let us take some 2 equations. Let us take some 2 equations. One is a1x plus b1y is equal to c1, and the other is a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. Needless to mention that this x and y are the literals of the variables, and all this a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2, these are real rational numbers. So these are real numbers. Now let us name this first equation as 1 and let us denote the second equation as 2. Now what we are going to find out? We are going to find out the values of the variables x and y in the terms of all this a1, b1, c1 and a2, b2 and c2. Now what we are to do? What we are to do? First of all, we will be equating the coefficient of any of these 2 variables, be it x or be it y, by taking some appropriate or the proper steps. Now see, dear my friends, what we are going to do, say we are going to eliminate the literal or the variable y. You see, in the first equation the coefficient is b1 and the second equation the coefficient is b2. So in order that we want to eliminate the variable y, so what we are going to do is that we will be multiplying the first equation by b2, that is the operation will be 1 into b2, and the second by b1, that is we are going to operate the second equation by b1. Okay, then what does it ends to, you know? So we are multiplying the first equation with b2, thereupon it becomes a1 b2 into x plus b1 a1 b2 into x plus b1 b2 into y is equal to, we have multiplied with b2, you know, this becomes b2 c1, right? Right? And the second equation we are going to multiply with b1. So in that eventuality, it will be a2 b1 into x plus, you know, it is b1 into b2 into y is equal to, we have multiplied with b1, you know, so that is b1 into c2. Now what you see here, we want to eliminate this variable y. So what we have to do is that, let us subtract it. Let us subtract it. That is, your operation will be, the mathematical operation will be 1 into b2 minus 2 into b1. Okay, dear? This is it. Now you know you have to change the sign of it, and this is going to be that. And because it is plus and minus, these two will nullify. These two will nullify. So what you get here, a1 b2 into x minus a2 b1 into x. So then why don't you take this x as common? And when you take this x as common, you know, your this coefficient becomes a1 b2 minus a2 b1 whole into x is equal to b2 c1 minus b1 c2, right? So you see, now it's so easy to find out the variable x. How to? Therefore, x is equal to this by its coefficient. Okay, that is b2 c1 minus b1 c2 upon a1 b2 minus a2 b1, right? Now naturally, you know, you can argue, so if the denominator is a1 b2 minus a2 b1, and if it becomes 0, we cannot divide anything with 0. Correct you are. Absolutely you are correct, you all juniors, my sisters and brothers. So if the denominator becomes 0, we cannot divide a quantity with 0. Okay, we'll be discussing that, you know, later phase, when we will be discussing the subject with another method, we call it cross multiplication. But for the time being, let us assume that a1 b2 minus a2 b1 is non-zero, or we can say a1 b2 minus a2 b1 is not equals to 0, or you can say that a1 b2 not equals to a2 b1. We have just transposed the sides. And it becomes that. Okay. Now, my dear sisters and brothers, you can say, okay, sir, you have got the value of x, then why don't you put the value of x, which was this equation number either 1 or 2. No, dear, we can do it definitely. We can compare, we can, you know, substitute, but let us be very specific. We have said that elimination of the coefficients. So why don't you take the pain in doing the same operation by elimination of the x? We had in the earlier count had eliminated the y. Now we are going to eliminate the x. Yes? Okay? Now we are going to eliminate y. Because in the earlier step we had eliminated the y. Now we are going to eliminate y. Okay? We had eliminated y, subtracted, we got the x. Sorry, now we are going to eliminate x. So what we will be doing? It's so easy. Multiply the equation 1 with the coefficient of x in the equation 2. That is, our operation would be 1 into a2. And as we have already had experienced it, you know, this will be a minus operation of the equation 2, and we will be multiplying this with the coefficient of x in the equation number 1. that is, it is A1. So you know, by this operation you get A2, that is A1, A2 into X plus A2, B1 into Y is equal to, because we have multiplied with A2, you know, it is A2, C1. And your this second equation becomes A1, A2 into X plus A1, B2 into Y is equal to A1, C2. So once again the same process. We will be subtracting these two, and this way we are nullifying this, and you get A2, B1 minus A1, B2 whole into Y is equal to A2, C1 minus A1, C2. And as usual, your Y will be equals to the right hand side, you know, A2, C1 minus A1, C2 whole upon A2, B1 minus A1, B2. So already we got X, now we got Y. And this is a complete new method. And as we have said earlier, that this quantity in the denominator should not be equals to 0, because you cannot divide, or we cannot divide anything with 0. Okay? So this is the process of X and Y to find out by the process of elimination of the coefficients. That is, we will be equalizing, then we will be subtracting. Not only subtracting in the case, you know, in the examples now that we are going to take, we can add them also. But our goal is very simple. We are just to find out the equations in some one variable. Then the process that we have done, we will be adopting that way. Now the board, you can see that I have given you some 3 pairs of simultaneous linear equations in 2 variables. Now we are going to solve these 3 equations. Okay. Now you can solve these equations by the methods that already you have learnt. That is by method of comparison or by method of substitution. But because now we have learned the process of elimination of the coefficients, we will try to do it. Okay. Now one thing I must advise you. In my experience, I have seen that not all, but some of my dearest sisters and brothers are somewhat, you know, I can say somewhat backward in the calculation or calculating the, or we can say the numerical skills. I will be suggesting you, if I get the time, you know, in our later session of the classes, I will be teaching you how we can, you know, how we can make it easy for the calculation. But this is not the session. This is not the way we are going to take the class today. Okay, have some pain. You know, we are going to take the first pair of linear equation. Example 1. Okay, so what we have to do is that, let us name the first equation as 2x plus 3y is equal to 31. Let it be the equation number 1. And 17x minus 11y is equal to 8. Let it be the equation number 2. Now see, I can, you know, equate the coefficients of the x, or I can equate the equations of y. Now, if I equate the coefficients of x, variable x, then you have to subtract. But if we are going to equalize or equate the coefficients of the variable y, then you can just add. Then we can just add. And you know, it is rather difficult of some of you, not all, definitely not. The 17 table is something, you know, a distant possibility for you. Anyway, but the multiplying of the 11, the coefficient of 11 will be giving you some ease. So why don't you multiply the equation 1 with the coefficient of the equation 2 of y? That is why we are going to multiply with 11. And here the equation number 2, we are going to multiply with the coefficient of the equation 1, 3. So where do we end? We are going to multiply the equation 1 with 11. So 11 2s are 22x plus 3 33y is equal to, you want to multiply this 31 by 11. Okay, I do this way. 31 means 30 plus 1, 30 into 11, 330 plus 1, 341. You can do it. Okay, so 11 ones are 11 and 1 carried 11, 3 is 33 plus 1, 341. I have done it mentally with some few seconds, but you can do it. Anyway, you have to do it, that's all. Now in the second equation, you have to multiply this with 3. Okay, this is 3. So 3 17s are, it is 51x. And here it is 3 minus 33y is equal to 24. Now I have already said you that this time we are not going to subtract it. We are going to add these two. In case we are adding this plus 33y and minus 33y will get cancelled. So here you add, it is 73x happens to be, what is there? 365. That is, your x becomes equals to 365 by 73, that which is 5. That which is 5. Okay, in the first place, if you feel difficulty that how, sir, how quick you are doing it, 365 by 73, it is 5. Okay, sir, we get some time, we have to divide it. Actually, do it for the time being, but get practiced. Okay, and already I have said that if I get some chance, definitely I am going to teach you. Definitely we are going to share our knowledge, how it can be done faster. Okay, then once again you can eliminate to the coefficient of x, but why are taking the pen? Why you are taking the pen, dear? Why don't you put the value of x in your first equation to be making you easy? So x equals to 5, placing this in your equation number 1, you get 2 into 5 plus 3 into y, we do not know, we are going to find it out, and that equals to 31. So 3y is equal to 31 minus this 10 is transposed to the right hand side, that becomes 10, and that is 21. That is, your y becomes 21 by 3 is equal to 7. Right? But in your school days, don't forget by giving the answer finally, that is required by your school teachers or your boards. That is, you have to finish this sum. Therefore, the solution, therefore the solution for this pair of equation is x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7, and that is your answer. Okay. Now my friends, going to the equation number, question number 2 for the pair of equations 2x plus 3y equals to 0 and 3x plus 4y is equal to 5. Like the previous case, we can name them as 2x plus 3y is equal to 0 is equal to equation number 1 and 3x plus 4y is equal to 5. This is your equation number 2. It is somewhat easier than your prior one. What to do? First you equate the coefficients of the variable x of these two equations. Then you have to multiply this with what? 3. And you have to multiply the equation number 2 with what? With 2. And then you have to subtract. So what you get? It is 6x plus 9y is equal to 0 multiplied by 3 is 0. Okay, and here it is 6x plus 8y is equal to 10. And now you subtract, this minimizes, this cancels out, this is minus 9y minus 8y happens to be y, and here it is 0, it is minus, so it is minus 10. So what do you get? Y is equal to minus 10, right? Now while you are taking the pen, you can place this value of y in the first equation, then it becomes 2x plus 3 into minus 10 is equal to 0. Or you get 2x is equal to, there is minus 30, you know, if transposed to the right hand side, it becomes 30. Therefore, x is equal to 30 upon 2, minimize it, it is 15. So once again you have to conclude, therefore, the required equation for the pair of this simultaneous equation in your this question number 2, x is equal to 15 and y is equal to minus 10. And this is your answer. Okay. One thing I will be suggesting you in this context, you know, that if you want to see that whether you have done correctly, why don't you place these values in any of the two equations, you know, x is 15 to x is 30, 3y, 3 into minus 10, minus 30, 30 minus 30 is equal to 0. So it is satisfying the equation number 1. Likewise, you can place the values in the equation number 2 also. And in that case, you can see that your answer is very much correct. So bingo. Now let us, my dear, the third question of the first lot. We had taken some 3 questions, and it is the third of it. Okay. So apparently it can seem to you the rows that it is seemingly somewhat difficult. In the right hand side the values are in fraction. So what's to you? You have to follow the process, you know. Now have a look on this sum. Okay, 2x plus 3y is equal to 11 by 3, equation number 1, and 5x minus 7y is equal to 31 upon 3, equation number 2. Now semi dear, if you are going to equalize or equate the coefficients of u, then you have to multiply this equation with 7. Okay, that is maintainable. But when you are going to multiply this equation with 3, it may seemingly, somewhat difficult for you. So it is your choice. Okay, I can do it or you can do it also. So why don't you take this way? Why don't you multiply this with 5? And why don't you multiply this equation with 2? And this will be keeping you easier. This will be somewhat easier. So we are multiplying the equation 1 with 5. What we are going to do? We are going to eliminate the x. So 1 into 5, and obviously this is 2 into 2. So do it. 5 say multiply. We are doing a multiplication with 5, and that is 10x plus 15y is equal to 55 by 3. Well, and here it has to be multiplied with 2, so that is 10x minus 14y is equal to, we are multiplying with 2, 31, 2, 30 into 2, 60 plus 2, 62, so easy, 62 by 3. Then what you to do? You have to subtract it. This will be making a plus, so it is 29y is equal to, what you have to do? You have to subtract. Okay, so it will be minus, it is more minus. Okay, this is minus, so quite evidently, it is minus 7 by 3. Therefore, your y becomes 7 upon 3 into 29. Okay, I could have given it a single step, but I have done it this way, 3 into 29. You see, it will be of your use, and that becomes, oh, I forgot the minus. So minus 7 upon 87. Okay dear, you have got it. Now place the value. Here you place the value, okay. So it is 2x plus 3 into, what is y dear? It is minus 7 by 87, and that equals to 11 upon 3. So 2x is equal to, you see it's a minus now. Therefore, you want to transpose it. So it is 11 by 3 plus this minus and transposition becomes plus 3 7 or 21 or divided by 87. Right? 20 by 87. Now dear, you can see here, this 87 was nothing but 3 into 29. 3 into 29. So the denominator is 87 and this 11 is 29 times 11 is 29 times 11. Yes, 29 times 11. You can do that way. How it is? 30 into this. All you can do this way. 10 plus 1. It is 290 plus 29. It is 39. So easy dear. What I have done? I have done 11 converted to 10 plus 1. So easy. So 29 into 10. Nobody, there is in the world that who can't you do this 10 multiplication with 29. Just put a 0 on the right hand side, and because it has to multiply 1 times more, so 29. So add it, 319. So it is 319 plus 21. So that happens to be 340 upon 87. Yes. Now what is this? This is 2x. Don't forget, this is 2x. But you are equal to find out the x. Therefore, x is equal to divide this with 2. Or you can say half into 340 upon 87. So this minimizes to 170. And this is 170 upon 87. Okay? While we were seeing this, you may pause and think of yourself what I have done for the calculation. Okay, one thing I can say you, my dear friends, out of my experience, that you have to build up your calculative skill. Calculative skill you have to build up. First, the world is getting competitive, So if you want to put yourself in a very good college or something like that, the NITs or the IITs or some good medical colleges or some reputed institutions of our India present day, then you want to grow up your calculative skill. No other alternative, my dear friends. Now, my dear friends, I have put some 2 questions on your board, and you see this is somewhat different from the examples that we have done already in our examples number 1, 2 and 3. But I have taken some 2 different types of simultaneous equations, that may seemingly be somewhat difficult for you, but it is easy. Now see, here the variables v and u, that is very much in the denominator. So why don't you convert this into your simultaneous equation where the variable can be put on to the numerator. So what you have to do for it? You replace 1 by v as x and 1 by u as y. So, reframe these 2 equations, that is the 11 upon v minus 7 upon u is equal to 1 in your newly taken variables x and y. That is, this first equation becomes 11 into 1 upon v. Now what is 1 upon v? You have supposedly taken this to be x. That is, it becomes 11x minus 7 into 1 upon y. What is that? That is y. And that becomes y. Now you see it is very much known to you. It is very much acquainted with you. In our previous examples, we have done this type of sums. So no difficulty now. Now here it is 9 into x minus 4 into y is equal to 6. So now we will be putting the notations as 1 and 2 for these 2 equations. I have to pair one pair of equations. Now the same process that has to be repeated, Now as you like, you may equate the coefficient of y, or you can equate the coefficient of x. It is up to your desire. So why don't you do it? It will be easier for you. So in that case, you have to multiply the first equation with the coefficient of the second one, that is 4, and the equation number 2 with the coefficient of the equation number 1 of the y. And then what you have to do, you are doing, so the first equation has to be multiplied with 4. So it is 44x minus 28y is equal to what we have multiplied with 4. So it is 4. And here we are multiplied with 7, right? So 7 9s are 63x minus 28y. It is happened to be 20y because we have done in that way such that this is equated, and that is 7 6 are, it is 42. Okay, then let it be your equation number 3 and equation number 4. Now because it's a bigger number, if I subtract, no harm in it, we can subtract it. But in that eventually you are going to get the value as a minus value. So why you are doing that? You do this operation 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3, that is, it is above and this is below. Okay, this is below. That is 4 and below it is the equation number 3. 44x minus 28y is equal to 4. Now subtract. Now if you are subtracting, this is plus and this is minus. So this cancels out. 63 minus 44, that happens to be 19. 19x is equal to 42 minus 4, that equals to 38. Okay, and x is equal to 2. So if x is equal to 2, you are at liberty to put this value of x is equal to 2 in any of the two equations as you like it. So put it here. So 11 into 2 minus 7 into y is equal to 1. That is 11 to the 22. This one, bring it to the left hand side is minus 1. Bring it to the right hand side, it is 7y. That is 21 and that equals to 7y. That is, it is 3. Now you see what we are doing here. We are taking the number as the subject and the variable on the right hand side. Now someone says, sir, in our school, our teachers, they say it, no, you cannot do this. You have to transform the right hand side 22, that becomes minus 22 and this is minus 7y. Okay dear, you satisfy your teachers are all learned teachers, I have no objection. But equal sign is like a balance. So in the balance you can revert it. What we keep on the left side of the balance is called to be the subject. So what is the harm if I take the number on the left hand side and the variable on the right hand side? Okay dear, but definitely you are not going to go against the dictates of your school. You do respect your teachers in whichever school you are. I have profound respect for your teachers, But once again I reiterate, there will be no harm in it if you do this operation unto your own advantages. Okay. Therefore, we conclude that the solution for this equation is x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3, which is going to be the answer. Okay, which is going to be the answer. Okay, right. So I put it here, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. Okay, my little ones. Probably this is going to be the last sum of our today's session, that is the session number 2, where we had learned about the solution of the simultaneous equations in two variables, simultaneous linear equations with two variables. Okay. Now you may say, sir, it is almost the same with your earlier one. In that case, it was 1 by v, 1 by u. Okay, that was your variable. We have replaced that variable for our own convenience replace as x and y. But look upon dear, look upon. You know, first of all, these equations are not at all the linear equations in u and v. Why, sir? Why, sir? Because of the simple reason, you know. In the left hand side, you can see the exponent of the variable is 1 for u. The exponent of the variable of the v is 1. But in the right hand side, there are two variables u and v. Both have the exponent 1 and 1. Summed up together, that will be 2. So this cannot be the linear simultaneous equation. Then should we give up? We will not be doing. No, we can give up. We can't give it up. We can convert this into the linear simultaneous equations. Okay, we can convert this. How to? How to? You know, first of all, you give it, you take it as 6u plus 3v is equal to 7uv, right? And it is 3u plus 9v, that equals to 11uv, right? Now what we are going to do? What we are going to do, that will be dividing both sides with uv, with uv. Thereupon, this becomes 6 into u upon uv plus 3 into v upon uv, that equals to 7. Now minimize u, that becomes 1 by v. Here you minimize v, that becomes 1 by u. Okay, now it is known to you. Okay, it is familiar to you, you know. In the previous sum we have done this sum this way. Now here it is 3 into u upon uv plus 9 into v upon uv, and that equals to 11. Here once again minimize this, 1 upon u, minimize this, 1 upon v. Then the same story will be repeated. Then the same story will be repeated as we have done in the earlier sum, you know. So here this will be 6 into x. We have taken this 1 by v as x and 1 by u as y. Now someone may ask, sir, if I take this 1 by v as y and 1 by u as x, will there be any harm? No harm. No harm. It's up to you. Whether you take 1 by v as x or 1 by u as x, it doesn't matter. But this equation now will be converted to 6x plus 3y is equal to 7, and here it is 3x, sorry dear, it is 3x plus 9y is equal to 11. Okay, so easy. Now what you do in that way, you know, one thing you can do, that you multiply the first equation with 3 and keep the second equation intact. So if you are multiplying this equation 6x plus 3y is equal to 7, this becomes, we are multiplying this with 3, you know. So it becomes 18x plus, you know, it is 9y is equal to 21. And here it is keeping intact 3x plus, you know, 9y is equal to 11. Subtract. This will be cancelled out. So 15x becomes equals to 10. 10, that is your x is equal to 10 by 15, or it is 2 by 3. Now probably in my earlier workout, I had worked it out up to the level of x and y, but the variable was not that. The variable was, you know, the variable was u and v. So you have to convert it. I am compensating this thing this time here, okay. So x is 2 by 3 and your y, replace it. X is 2 by 3, 6 into 2 by 3 plus 3 into y is equal to 7. Okay, this is 2. 2 to the 4, so 3y is equal to 7 minus 4 is equal to 3, or your y is equal to 1. So that is not your answer. It is not your answer because there was no x and y given to this problem. For our own convenience, we had taken 1 by v as x, but the real variable was u and v. So convert it. You have taken the v as 1 by v as x, and what is your x? X is 2 by 3. So 1 by v is equal to x means 2 by 3. Then invertendo v equals to 3 by 2, okay, or just to invert it, So this is your answer, and from here you have found out y to be 1, 1 by u is equal to 1, or else u is equal to 1. Okay. Now there goes another solution, that which is not possible in the first case. What is that? Now if uv is 0, if uv is 0, then once again you are going to divide this sum with the uv, that which happens to be 0. You cannot divide anything with uv that which is 0. But if uv is not 0, or all of them not is 0, then there can be another solution. U is equal to 0 and v is equal to 0. Okay, so you got two solutions, One is your v is equal to, what it was, 10 by 15, 2 by 3, 3 by 2, yeah. So v is equal to 3 by 2 and your e is 1. The required solution, u is equal to 1 and v is equal to 3 by 2. You can replace the values here and you can find out so easy. Okay, so this is your answer. But I have given a second. If uv not equals to 0, then it is possible you are dividing it. Not all u and v should be 0 at a time, and in that event you are not going to get this type of solution, because it is not a linear equation. It is not a linear equation, it's a non-linear equation. So with this thing, let me conclude about this class of session 2, and I hope that very soon I will be coming back with you for our session number 3. Now at the end, if you think that my classes are getting yourself beneficial, you are getting benefits from my class, so I would be requesting you, my friends, either to share or to like or to subscribe. Finally, my little sister and brothers, one message of my pleasure I must convey to you. I am overwhelmed with your responses. Some of you have already commented on my video with your difficulties, with your problems, with your doubts. I am really getting the pleasure, that you have responded. And out of my busy schedule, I could find out some hole to respond to your comments, and in future I give a word that I will be definitely responding to your queries, to your doubt clearings, okay? And keep up, keep supporting me. Thank you.